Welcome back, everybody. We here at Team Starlight have been on a bit of a holiday hiatus, but we are back today with some gameplay from our locals. We got Marcos on the left playing Geartown Gravekeepers, and Clayton on the right playing Quickdraw.
Yeah, this is just the straight up net decked Geartown deck that I think Fraser Smith showcased on his channel. I think the only difference was I didn't have a third descendant, so I just put in a third upstart. That's literally the only difference. And I didn't have a side deck card, so I ended up siding a different card, which might pop up in this duel. I forget. But yeah, so here I'm just like searching for deck thinning a bunch, you like terraforming the upstart, and I'm like, yeah, he has a card trooper, no back row. Let's just some of the big boy, big bungus.
Unga Boonga do 2600 damage. Yeah, shout out to the guy who made this cool deck. I think the Geartown engine has a ton of potential, and this is just another spin on the deck using like Gravekeepers and Necro Valley. We'll link whatever his name was give him a shout out in the description below because he definitely deserves his creds. This is a very potent deck.
Yeah, here Clayton's just trying to figure out like what the guy actually does. Is like, okay, it stops the traps and stuff. I think he might have like a D prison in hand or something. Just like, yikes. So he heavy storms. I have the Starlight Road. I only run one Starlight in this deck, but I feel like every time I saw it during this tournament, it was always live and always good. Like this deck is such good ratios, man. Yeah, now we got a Stardust and a freaking Galvatron. Like, looking kind of rough, not gonna lie.
Yeah, looking like a big think coming from Clayton. How do you deal with this board? Because you're basically just saying this is like almost game, especially if that's like a spy set, then that's gonna be game on board. So let's see, he's going for quick draw.
Quickdraw Caius targets the Stardust. That makes sense. Like the Stardust is pretty threatening for what he needs to do, and I feel like he has more ways to out the Galvatron. He must have other ways to out the Galvatron. Maybe if his set was like a Mirror Force, but can't really do anything if it's a Mirror Force. At MST, it's just bottomless. I see. So yeah, he wanted to make sure his bottomless resolved, and Stardust didn't stop it. But I have the Spy, getting Descendant, summon a second Descendant. I attack, and I believe that's 6,000 plus another 12. That is 7,200.
72, yep, that's more than enough.
Yeah, so a rough one indeed. That is just what this deck can do at times. It's really cool. Like I think Gravekeepers aren't really known for being like an OTK deck, but during this tournament I OTK'd like 6 different times, and he had a Mirror Force. He probably still should have said it. I understand like that he was afraid of like the fact that he couldn't use it, but you could still use Mirror Force on the other monsters. But if he knew it was a Spire or something coming out, like it was gonna get popped. But it's better. I
He
think it
probably would
would
have
better.
Descendant popped.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
in
100%.
retrospect. So, but still, yeah, it would have.
He would have lived. He would have lived. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he could have just debreed afterwards. Potentially just go for like a Black Rose play.
Yeah. So Clayton's, we got Titanial turn 1. Always a good opener. Set 1 back row.
And here I actually didn't know how to side. This is actually my first time ever playing this deck. I never even played it online. I just bought the cards because that was cool, and I wanted the 25th anniversary Geartowns. So I kind of made a misplay in terms of a misjudgment in terms of what I should have sided. You'll see some cards that like make sense and others that don't, and I'll explain why. But yeah, he gets the quick draw Danny combo with the Titanial. I don't know about you, but that's like really hard to deal with if you don't have like Torrential exactly.
Interesting. Just gonna go for the attack straight up. Not gonna make the Drill Warrior yet. Surely we'll get that in main 2 though, I imagine.
Yeah, I since I didn't Torrential immediately, like I feel like he kind of has no fear, except, and even if it was Mirror Force, like he'd be okay with like 1-for-1ing with the Titanial. And I have brain control this whole time. This Titanial is really just ruining any of my like clapback plays. And then yeah, and I also explained to him here that Drill Warrior actually still works under Necro Valley. This is just an important ruling that people should know. It doesn't target, and anything that doesn't target grave cards in the grave doesn't get stopped by Necro Valley. So yeah, but here I switched my my Descendant to attack.
That's a Gravekeeper Spy.
Sorry, I switched my Spy attack to get rid of the token. I have the Necro Valley here, and here like I kind of make like a idea where I'm like, you know what, this Titanial is really threatening, and I think I can bait it out with a brain control. Because I have the brain control here, and here I'm just explaining the Necro Valley ruling for him because he wants to know if he can still use it, and like, yeah, he can. So yeah, so I just big think here. Hard Titanium is just such a threat against this deck.
Yeah, and if the drill comes back and then he gets Dandy and gets more tokens, it's gonna be like you'll never be able to really deal with it other than Gadgetron. So I understand trying to force it out with brain control, which is risky though.
Yeah, I don't really have many main deck outs to this Titanium to be completely honest. We're just talking about a bunch of rulings. He's like, because he asked a bunch of questions about like, can I use this card? I was like, nah. So I just asked him. I was just answering any question he had about Necro Valley, because why not? Game one was pretty fast. We had time. I brain control here because I think he thinks I could tribute his Titanium for like Gadgetron or something, which would honestly be a big threat against his like Drill Warrior and whatnot. But yeah, I just instead summon the Descendant. He asks if I have Prio. I say no Prio, and I just chain deck dev because with Necro Valley, and then his hand is a Caius and a Raikou. It really doesn't hurt him. So deck dev is a card that like I think you should side into quick draw, but I think maybe it made more sense to use it going like first. Because going second, if he already establishes a Drill Warrior or establishes a Titanium, like it just doesn't do anything, you know? Like that, I just hoping to see a Geartown though. I just haven't seen Geartown this whole time.
Yeah, unfortunately, he drew that Book of Moon there, so deck Debbie, no added value so far.
Yeah, and he's just choosing what to add back. I think he just chooses the Dandy. He sees the two back row. I haven't used them yet, so he's probably thinking like it's a card like it's probably D Prison or something. And so he just doesn't want to attack. And he's honestly in a really good spot here that he really doesn't need to attack. The Necro Valley is not even stopping Drill Warrior. It's not really doing much for me either. So he's just making the safe play, which I respect. I think going for the safe play there makes sense because Drill Warrior is just going to keep giving you so much time and you're under deck dev right now, so you kind of need that time. And he just sets the Book of Moon that he drew. And then, yeah, and I put a little deck dev counter for the people at home.
So thoughtful of you.
I got it. Yeah, I just keep swinging. I'm like, I told him, use the Book of Moon, man. Come on. He drew Solemn. He just only drawing traps, so he just completely does not get shut out at all. Gets the Drill Warrior back. Here, I would definitely get the... Oh, he got the Raikou. He has Caius in hand. I think he's going to probably end up using it here. Because it's just like such a strong push at this point. If I were him, I would definitely use Drill Warrior's effect first, then Caius. Because I wouldn't want to lose Drill Warrior to like a Torrential. But I haven't set a new trap, so it's like, are you really afraid anymore, you know?
Well, actually, he's had no opportunities to torrential because I'm sure you know this, but for the people who don't know, you can't torrential or bottomless like a Drill Warrior. It's like one of these weird Edison rulings where because its effect is still resolving, like you can't use it. So he hasn't really had a chance yet. But okay, so yeah, we have the Caius coming down.
So he pitches Dandy, gets the 2 tokens. He just says like, hey, I don't have enough extra tokens, so just I'm gonna tribute one of the tokens and bring it back. And I was like, cool, yeah, game state secured. And here I had a skill drain. I don't think skill drain I needed to side in this matchup, to be completely honest. I had it there the whole time. It was doing nothing. It just felt really bad. Maybe going first, but going second, I definitely would not side skill drains. It felt really rough the whole time.
Yeah, I understand that. The going first, going second thing. Yeah, here you draw command in, so you just have to search Necro Valley to hopefully thin out the deck, which that doesn't feel that good. Yeah, skill drain would feel really good if you had like a Gadgetron or something, you know, behind it, but alas, this is where we're at.
Yeah, and we go to scoop phase. Let's go to game 3. That was just a rough one. All the cards I drew did not really do much or amount to much. Here I'm just like, I think I don't know what exactly I drew, but I think I just set one and pass. Could be anything. It's most likely a spy, but his mills are pretty bad. He mills the Gores here. So Gores is a great mill for me to see. I think whenever someone mills the Gores, you just feel so much more safe to go for big pushes. So he attacks, loses 100 life, and I'm able to actually get myself a little Descendant for free. Which is always nice in Gravekeepers, right?
Yeah, it also just means you don't have to draw it.
Yeah, and he sets no back row. I think he was afraid of me popping whatever back row he had. with the Descendant because it was pretty much guaranteed if it wasn't chainable. And now I'm just like doing some math here because I think my hand is nuts and I should be able to just straight up win here. If he doesn't have like Battle Fade or Attract, because Gores is out of the question, right?
Yeah, let's see. I saw at least one Geartown. We're gonna get to see how many.
So there's one Geartown's gonna be popped here. Geartown effect. Yeah, you could just set your Geartown over Geartowns. As long as you set over them, it'll pop and it won't miss timing. So that's pretty great. And now I'm just like thinking how I can just win the optimal way. What is the best bet for us? What doesn't lose to like a Battle Fader or a Tragodia? So I'm just like thinking of the math. And I have the emergency teleport. That should probably be it. So on board, what is that? Already like 12, 15 to 27. It's a lot of damage, but I don't think it's game yet. But yeah, I'm able to set another field spell, and I had the Galvatron in hand. But that is in total game plus a Necro Valley to beef up the boys. And there's no Gores, so I just swing for 26.
He's hoping to draw the Trag right here off the top.
Swing with 14. Swing with 17, and then yeah, it's game. And he did not draw it. Yeah. He says GG's to Clayton. He was a really good sport. He says he has really bad luck on camera just because he just feels like he gets a camera nerf, and I feel like I'm the other way around. I get a camera buff, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's the first round going to Gravekeeper Gadgetron or Geartown Gravekeepers.
See you in the next one.